Namaste guys, Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consulting, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Friday early evening around 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time here in Lakewood, Colorado. And just sitting out here, enjoying my friend's space. There's flowers everywhere. My responsibility while he and his girlfriend are gone to attend a wedding was to make sure the flowers get watered. If the flowers don't get watered, I fail my job. They're never going to have me over again. So just finished that. It's been a busy day. Busy day of resting, working with a client, overtime with this particular client. But, you know, we all need a little bit more assistance at some times than others. And funny enough, you guys saw, if you saw the stream last night, my body was super tired. I was swerving all over the road. Didn't even know I was driving on the wrong side of the road, like for like a minute. Not the safest thing in the world. So I quickly got my food and then came back home. But my mentor was doing healing on me and realizing, wow, your lower chakras, navel chakra, sex chakra, basic chakra, main chakra, the lower chakras were super depleted. So if the lower chakras are super depleted, you don't have the energy to be rooted and connected to Mother Earth to draw up the necessary ground prana, and you don't have the necessary energy to do physical work and physical activities. So it was a tough night. Rested, got healing, woke up feeling much better, much more in my body, much more anchored. And so now I was able to accomplish, go to my storage unit, and I'm doing the old back and forth with the storage unit. I'm paying about $59 a month for a 5-foot by 10-foot space. It's got a queen size bed, it's got a desk, it's got an office chair, like a beautiful office chair. It's got like a dresser, and then some clothes and paperwork and things like that. And I go, this is going to be here for probably another 6 months. So it's already been in storage for 6 months. It's going to be in storage for another 6 months. The likelihood of me taking any of this stuff with me across the country, which is going to be about $1,000, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm thinking to myself, how do I get rid of a queen size mattress and a queen size box spring and the other things that are in there? I mean, they're worth thousands of dollars, but it's always the logistics of how quickly can I sell it. I posted something on Craigslist, a couple views, no responses. I posted something on Facebook Marketplace, a couple responses, or a couple views, but no responses. So it seems like people aren't that interested. But to get rid of it, I'm thinking, do I just leave this stuff in there and let it lapse? And then they just quote unquote sell the stuff, but then they're going to charge me for that too. So I'm kind of weighing the options. I want to do the most appropriate thing and use my resources intelligently, because that's my ray, yo. Ray number 3, the ray of active intelligence, always looking at the numbers. So that's in reference to the 7, what's up, Paula? Namaste. That's the 7 rays of creation. 7 rays of creation. So as we incarnate from the divine spark to the higher soul to the incarnated soul, there are certain rays of energy that, how do I say, influence our viewpoints, right? So ray 1 people, the ray of power, those are the pioneers, those are the CEOs, those are the people that charge forward no matter what. Then you have ray 2 people, which are love and wisdom. Those are the healers, the therapists, the doctors, the nurses, the people that are in the humanities, the people that are always the glue in all situations. Yuvi Atma Namaste. Then you have ray 3, which is the ray of active intelligence. Those are the money people, those are the commerce people, those are the managers, not the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs are typically ray 1, and then the people that manage the business to make sure it's profitable, those are ray 3 people. So I'm a very strong ray 3 person. And then there are other rays beyond that. But the 3 rays, the first ray, second ray, and third ray, those are the major rays of the world. And then other people break up into ray 4, ray 5, ray 6, and ray 7, right? But the first 3 rays are the primary rays. The primary rays. So that's what we are ultimately at the soul level. We're light, we're love, we're power. So it's like a triangle. And sometimes we have to focus more on one side of the triangle than others to get the job done. Meaning, If you are super willful, always offending people, always stepping on people's backs to get what you need, want, and desire, what is that going to look for you like long term? Are you going to have a life of inner peace? Are you going to have a life of harmonious, healthy relationships? Most likely not, right? Because you're stepping on the backs of other people. You're using the will aspect, but what you're lacking is the love aspect, right? But let's say you're super, super loving, but you lack intelligence. You're super loving and you lack discernment. You're super loving and you lack intelligent evaluation. Then what happens? You get taken advantage of, you lose time, you lose money, you lose resources, right? What if you are super intelligent, you have all these great ideals for the world, but you lack power? So you just stay in the mental plane all the time of like this amazing invention that you could bring into the marketplace, this amazing product or service you could bring into the marketplace, this amazing nonprofit or NGO that you could bring into the marketplace, but because you lack power, you don't take it from the mental plane into the emotional plane, into the physical plane to make it materialize. Does that make sense? So all three are very, very important, and each person, each soul is born with a predominant ray, and then they have to, how should I put this? Over their lifetimes, have to balance out those rays. So even the great, great teachers and saints of the modern era, they may be very, very developed in one ray, but they incarnated to develop another ray to a much, much higher degree. Right? Does that make sense? So for instance, Amma, the hugging saint from India, who's hugged over 40 million people around the planet over the past 35 or so years and created a worldwide movement of compassion, of love, of mercy, her foundation is in the billions of dollars, which requires you to develop the will aspect of directing that money and intelligence of how to direct that money intelligently. Right? So she's developing those two rays. So the love aspect is very, very developed in this incarnation and through other incarnations. But now she's working on developing ray 1 and ray 3. Make sense? But there are some yogis who are in disguise as business people, who have very, very, very strong will. But then as they get older and older and older, what do they have the realization of? I need to start giving back some of my wealth. I need to start giving back to charities and foundations and bigger causes than my business and myself. So Andrew Carnegie was one of the wealthiest people in the United States in the early part of the 19th century. He was known as being ruthless. Elizabeth, I'm going to say ruthless in business. But then as his body aged and he was getting closer to death, he ended up donating enough money to create 3,000 libraries around the United States. And if I'm not mistaken, he gave away all of his money before he died. So what was he developing? Love, generosity, preserving, providing, protecting, caring for. So in the most of his life, he was very good at ray 1, the ray of will and making things happen, but he wasn't very loving. He wasn't very kind. He was the guy that was bucking the formations of unions. Unions started because of Andrew Carnegie, because he was ruthless. So the workers for him said, we have to figure out a way to protect ourselves and to provide for ourselves, which is the love aspect. So the unions, in some way, are the love aspect for certain careers, right? The teachers union, the construction union, right? So that's the love aspect. It's providing for people. Social Security within the United States is the love aspect from the government. You pay into Social Security as you work over the course of your life, and then when you retire, quote unquote, they give you a set amount of income. That's preserving and providing. It may not be a lot, it may not be all you need to live on, but it's a form of the government providing love for you, right? So it was interesting looking at my looking at my rays today and helping one of my clients understand her ray better. But again, we have 7 rays of creation. So, but it was good. It was a good day. It was a productive day. I'm about to wind down. I wanted to jump on and give you guys a stream now versus at like 10 o'clock Mountain Time here when my body's ready to go to bed, because I still have more work to do. I'm going to be doing healings tomorrow, and I typically don't work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but because I've been traveling, because of Wi-Fi issues, because of blah, 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 I'm having to play a little bit of catch-up and doing some healings and some programs online that I was not able to do earlier this past week. What else? What else? It's interesting. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, but it's interesting that when I lived in Denver for 8 years, right? I've been away from Denver for about 7 months. This is my first time being back in the area after about 7 months. And it's interesting because as I've changed, as I've grown and evolved as a person, as a soul, as a healer, as fill in the blank, because I'm trying to grow in all areas of my life all the time, because that's what I'm dedicated to, I'm seeing parts of Denver that I never saw before. Like beautiful neighborhoods with lots and lots of prosperity, like across the street from where I am right now, actually this way, this way, I'm getting orientated here, this way, there are like $5 million homes on a lake. I didn't even know, A, there was a lake in this area, and B, that there were $5 million homes and up. So sometime tomorrow I'm going to head my sweet little butt over there and check out that area and absorb some of the prosperity energies, right? Also, driving through this neck of the woods, which I don't come through this neck of the woods very often, there's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful parks. Like giant fields, huge. I'm like, this is a big field. But it's got lush green grass, lush trees and bushes, beautiful. And it's practically been in my backyard all along, right? And it's interesting because this area, it's funny how everything comes back full circle, but it's an upward spiral. Energy moves in a spiral, right? That a year, hold on. 2015, I lived a mile from here, and a half a mile in between both places, here and the place I was living, so in between a half a mile, is where I used to lead the Twin Hearts meditation once a week for I think about a year. So we would do Twin Hearts meditation and then a healing clinic, Twin Hearts meditation and healing clinic, Twin Heart, and that was every single week for about a year. And it's like right here. Hey, my friend left his wine glass. It's right here. So it's super, super funny that it's like I could have crashed anywhere in the area, right? But my friend and client of 7+ years who moved in with his girlfriend, he still has his place in Golden, just happens to, live right around the area that I, in essence, started my healing practice full-time in Denver. It blows my mind how, it just blows my mind. If you just look at the synchronicities and the connectedness and the oneness. And I bet you $1 million, there's still levels of truth that I'm not seeing about those connections, about that oneness. If I go higher and higher and higher in my viewpoint, I can see more and more and more oneness. It's really quite amazing. Super, super grateful. So, what else? Anything else? Oh yeah. So this was a professional shave from a professional barber earlier today. Some of you like me with a beard, some of you do not like me without a beard, or like me with a beard or without a beard. I can't please everyone all the time. It's a formula for failure. What's up, Paula? Baby butt. It was funny because the barber, you know what I like about the barbers? this is what I like. Naomi, I'm going to say, this is what I like about the barbers. Like the old school barbers, right? I set my appointment the night before with beard. All right, UV, just calm down. I set my appointment with the barber the night before online. And then I realized I wanted both. I wanted a haircut and I wanted a shave, but I couldn't choose both options for some reason, which is kind of weird. They need somebody to help them with that. But I go in there. There's one guy inside the barber shop, and there's one guy sitting outside the barber shop. And I was like, well, who's my barber? There's only two guys there, and it's going to be one of them, right? So one guy inside is already cutting somebody's hair. So it might be him or the guy sitting outside. So I walk in, and I talk to him, and I said, hey, I'm the 12:30 Christian Long. I was told to come earlier because of the mess up in the time. And he goes, yeah, you're not going to be meeting with me. You're going to be meeting with the Art outside. And so I walk out, and Art's on the phone, and he's complaining about money. He's in his early 60s. He's got tattoos. He's got a handlebar mustache. Doesn't care, right? And there's just something I've always loved about barbershops, because when I was a teeny tiny kid, my mom would always bring me to barbers, right? So I got accustomed to barbers. And by the way, many of you probably don't know this. There's an esoteric teaching to the barber pole. You know the pole that spins and it's got the red and blue ribbons? That's an esoteric teaching. Amazing, right? Amazing. If you ask most barbers, obviously they're not going to really know the history of it. But anyways, I digress. So since I was a teeny tiny nugget, I've been going to see barbers. So I like barbers, but I also like going to stylists as well, especially over the past 3 years. You know, they go all in. They do the facial wash, they do the back massages, they do the wash before, they do the wash after, they do the gel. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I definitely like getting pampered, you know what I'm saying? But I also like going into a place where you can just be, like, there's no pretense. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't trying to impress me with his handlebar mustache. That's just how he rolls. And I like when a barber, like when a man is doing your hair, and there's just like this pressure. There's this like, it's like a firm pressure of moving your head one way, moving your head the other. There's no apology. There's no daintiness. It's just like, all right, move your head to the left, move your head to the right. All right, put your head down. I got to shave the back. And it's just this like efficient firmness that I really, really admire. And, you know, small talk, talking about the weather, talking about where I'm from, talking about what I've been up to. Do I live in the area? Am I from the area? Blah, 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 blah. You know, and I mentioned I'm a meditation teacher of almost 20 years, and he was like, oh, that's interesting. And, you know, we talked a little bit about that. And, you know, he was shaving me, and so he shaved me with the clippers first, and then he did the straight edge razor afterwards. And he says, look, you got a beautiful beard, but it is super tough, because he cut me not once, but twice. Not that it was like devastating, because, you know, I cut myself sometimes, probably maybe every 10 times I shave, I cut myself, like a little nick. But it was good affirmation from him, because he's like, you have a really tough beard. He's using a sharp, straight edge razor and still having a hard time shaving different parts of my beard, right? Because I was always like, I buy this razor, it has 3 blades. I buy this razor, it has 4 blades. I buy the other razor, 5 blades. The other razor, 6 blades. And I'm using it, and it's not deeply shaving me. So now I have some validation that my beard is, I don't know, tougher, harder, whatever you want to call it, than most beards. And I'm one of the few guys in my entire family who can grow a full beard instead of this like splotchy, short, whatever. So for those of you who like the beard, fear not, it'll be coming back soon enough. It takes 4 days for most of it to be filled in and then puff out in a couple weeks. So everyone calm down, take it easy, stop getting worked up, especially you, UV. Megan's probably getting worked up too. I want everyone to calm down. Okay? Everyone needs to calm down. So, there we go. Look at a little, so there's 2 bird feeders, look. So this bird feeder, whoops, that bird feeder is for the fat birds, the chunky birds. And then this bird feeder, can you see it? It's for the teeny tiny baby birds. like the super small birds, like this fat, because the seeds are so tiny. The fact that a bird can pull something out of that amazes me. You guys want to check it out? And it seems like everywhere I've been staying has a creek behind me. I don't know what that symbolizes, but I love it. Okay, so check it out. We have the flowers that were watered, by the way. Okay, everyone calm down. Look how tiny that is. Like, look how tiny those holes are. Fat birds. And then we have a beautiful creek right here. Runs through down there. Runs through down there. It's a beautiful walking path. More flowers. The neighbors. But you know the thing I miss, because my friend and I went on a walk on this path yesterday. You know what I miss more than most things? All my travels, all my little escapades, all the cool things that I've done over the past several years, which I am extraordinarily grateful for. You have no idea. Like, words can't express how grateful I am, but my heart can. So if you listen to my heart, you can feel and experience the gratitude. One of the things I miss more than anything else was rollerblading. Because for 2 solid years, I rollerbladed like it was my job. I would go out 5 to 7 times a week, and I would go anywhere from 8 to 12 miles rollerblading, and it was so invigorating. There was 2 other guys in town that did rollerblading. I should have got their numbers and we could have torn it up together. And there are 2 other girls that did rollerblading. So in my 2.5 years of regularly rollerblading in that area, 2 guys and 2 women, and that's it. I saw rollerblading. So rollerblading obviously wasn't a super big thing for people, but I absolutely, unequivocally, it's a bright sun. Absolutely, unequivocally loved it. So that's something I miss. My rollerblades are in storage, and you might be saying, well, Christian, what happened? Why did you stop rollerblading? Well, funny that you ask. I stopped rollerblading because I rollerbladed so much that one of the back wheels, and I didn't even know this was possible, cracked open. Like, it literally severed in half while I was rollerblading. Needless to say, that wasn't a very fun experience, stopping. But that's why, and right at that time, I was in the process of moving and transitioning and yada, yada, yada. So, but rollerblading, like, I cut a lot of weight. My core was super strong. My endurance went up better than it's ever been. I love rollerblading. Love it. It's like, gets me jacked up. So I look at this trail right here that goes on for a hot minute, and it's like the perfect rollerblading trail. A little bit of ups and downs. You're not in traffic. There's not a lot of people and babies and dogs on this trail. The trails that I used to go on, everyone and their mom was on it. It was pretty aggressive. And then one time, some of you might remember this stream, Colorado Springs ended rollerblading for me. What? Paula, we're going to have to talk about this. Aren't I supposed to call you or something? So, I was rollerblading. I kid you not. I was rollerblading, right? And all of a sudden, on the trail, was a very long, very thick, meaty snake. So, what did I choose? Did I choose the action of loving kindness and non-injury, or did I choose the action of severity and cruelty? Stopping is an issue, for sure. I chose the loving kindness and non-injury to the snake, and I cut a corner super fast so I didn't run over it and kill it. It was a big snake. It wasn't like a little teeny weeny garter snake. It was a big meaty snake. And I cut, and then I ended up falling off, skidding my knee, cutting my hand, knocking off my glasses. It was a pretty aggressive moment. I was traumatized, actually, from that experience for like a week. I had to do like healing on my emotional body. It was intense. Never forget it. Never forget that snake. That snake never sent me a thank you letter for saving its life, not even an email, not even a text message. So that's something I definitely miss, is rollerblading. I would just put on my headphones, put on my music. I would sometimes talk to people, which was beautiful, but I put on my headphones, music, and I would just grind it out. My shorts would be sweaty, you know, right through. Yeah, it was just great. I missed that hard. Super, super hard. Oh, rollerblading. So I don't know if the next place that I'm going to, there's going to be rollerblading opportunities. It was funny because when I was in San Francisco 2 weeks ago, I saw some guy on a skateboard, right? And he was just going down those super, super steep roads in San Francisco, and he was going down like it was nothing. And I was like, that takes a lot of ball to be standing up with a backpack, a drink in your hand, going 40 miles an hour on a skateboard, in and out of traffic. That's a skill I have not developed on rollerblades or otherwise. It's pretty impressive. So that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day whenever you're watching this live or the replay. For those of you who need healing, let me know. I'm going to be more available than ever before within the next few days when I land in my next location for 2 months. So it's not a week, it's not a month, it's 2 months. I didn't want to do that because then that would be confusing. 2 months. And we're going to produce some phenomenal miracles for lots and lots of people that I'm looking forward to. So, that being said, have an amazing day, evening, sleep deeply and profoundly, or start your day with lots of enthusiasm, inspiration, and joy. And I look forward to serving you very, very soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, Namaste. Bye-bye.